Hello, I'm State Senator John Kavanagh, and welcome to another edition of Kavanagh's Corner. And this edition is a little different than my past editions. As you can see, I'm in a different location. I'm in one of our committee hearing rooms here at the Arizona Legislature. And this edition is more like a college course on legislating. Let's call it basic abnormal legislating 109. Because what happened yesterday in committee about one of my bills was really deplorable. Now, I won't go into great detail in this intro because most of this edition is going to be a video of that hearing. The background is I was approached by some high school students who wanted to add instructions in AEDs to the current mandatory CPR training that each student gets once in their high school career. Now, an AED is an automatic electronic defibrillator. You see these in public buildings and other locations all around. Basically, they're defibrillators, which will restart the heart when you're in cardiac arrest. And they're very simple to operate. In fact, people don't really need training. If they pull it off the wall, there are instructions which basically just say to put it on the person's chest. And then it's so sophisticated, the unit detects whether or not the person needs a shock. And if it does, delivers the shock. If it's not needed, the shock isn't delivered. So it's all perfectly safe also. Now, the student wanted to include instruction for other students. Many schools have these devices, but a lot of times students are reluctant to use them because they're not familiar with them, even though they're easy to use and don't really require instruction. So the kids already get CPR training, and it takes no more than 10 or 15 minutes to just show them how the AED works. So simple addition to an existing program, no additional expense whatsoever. I mean, you would think this would slide out with no problems. But what happened was a representative from the teachers union showed up and said that they shouldn't pass this unless there's a big appropriation of money to the schools. Money which would be needed for nothing because this program costs nothing. And the deplorable part of the encounter beyond the teachers union position was that two of the three Democrats agreed and voted against the bill. And the one who voted for it was really hedgy on that too. So I want to show you just how toxic partisanship is and how wed many Democrats are to labor unions. So watch the hearing, see what everybody says, and consider yourself better educated on abnormal legislating.
Thank you. Thank you for hearing the bill. I am here to express my support for incorporating AED instruction into the existing CPR programs for students in our schools. Many, but not all, CPR programs already include AED instruction. This will help fill in the few that don't. Sudden cardiac arrest can strike anywhere without warning. A playground, a gym, a classroom, a school event, and it's not only young students. There could be teachers, or it could be a basketball, football game with older people in the area. Now, CPR keeps blood flowing, the compressions, but an AED really saves lives because it actually restores the heartbeat. Now, they're already present in many schools, yet often they're unused because students are not familiar with them or unsure how to operate them, even though the instructions are really quite simple. In fact, almost anybody can use an AED with no training by simply following the simple instructions that are on the AED itself. And I might add, they're very safe because when you put the paddles on the chest of the person, if they don't need a shock, it will not deliver a shock. So they're really foolproof. So teaching students how to use AEDs and when to use them alongside CPR does not take a lot of time. It doesn't really cost any money. And this bill, by the way, does not require schools to purchase AEDs. They're modern, they're safe, they're simple, they're designed for ordinary use, including teenagers, and this education empowers students not only to protect classmates and teachers, but also family members and neighbors throughout their lives, because these AEDs are located all over, so students would be comfortable using them and wouldn't hesitate. However, they can be intimidating, so even the simple instructions will deter some people. So by having students learn how to use them, practice a few times, they'll have no problem doing this. This is a practical, non-controversial, evidence-based step. It'll strengthen public safety, and it'll build a culture of readiness and helpfulness among our students. Now, the need for this has been brought to me by people best in the know, the students themselves, and you'll hear from one of them today, or two of them today. So by ensuring CPR education includes AED awareness and hands-on familiarity, survival rates will increase. So I appreciate your supporting this bill, and I stand for any questions.
Very good. Any questions for Senator Kavanagh? Yes, Senator Miranda.
Thank you, Mrs. Chair. Senator Kavanagh, the national standards already incorporate AED training in the CPR training. So what is this, how is this different?
Madam Chair, Senator Miranda, not all CPR instruction programs incorporate AEDs. The Heart Association, which predominates in CPR instruction, in fact, as I was telling one of the students, I was actually a Heart Association CPR instructor when I was 17. That includes AED, but there are other instructional programs that don't include it, so they would now add that to it. And by the way, adding AED to a CPR program it takes nothing. I mean, it takes no more than 10 minutes to familiarize somebody with it, and some people even learn it by watching the video. But this would be part of the actual school program.
Okay, and Madam Chair. Yes, Madam Chair, Senator Kavanagh, we need a dedicated funding source. So for the schools that don't have access to the tax credits, how is this going to be funded?
Madam Chair, this costs nothing. This does not require anybody to purchase an AED. So there's no cost at all. This simply says the existing CPR programs will add this very simple, quick, instructional time into the program. So there's no cost at all.
Madam Chair, members of the committee, for the record, my name is Erin Streeter, and I represent the American Heart Association. We are here in support of SB 1009, teaching students CPR saves lives by ensuring more people are prepared to act when someone experiences sudden cardiac arrest. Arizona already requires CPR training before graduation, and the training includes instruction on using an AED. SB 1009 reinforces this important component, ensuring AED training remains part of the curriculum. We appreciate Senator Kavanagh for introducing SB 1009 and respectfully ask the legislature to consider appropriating $500,000 to help offset the cost of this training for schools. We urge you to support SB 1009 and help continue to build a nation of lifesavers. With that, I'm available for questions.
Hello, thank you so much. My name is Estella Blanc. I represent the Arizona Education Association. We represent over 23 Arizona educators across the state. So we do have concerns with Senate Bill 1009, which does, again, expand requirements on CPR and AED training for high school students. As teachers, we absolutely agree that learning life-saving skills is important. The problem with SB 1009 is not the goal. It is this bill adds another requirement for schools without providing real funding to make it happen. This means districts are legally required to comply whether or not they can afford the training, staff time, or scheduling changes needed to do it well. I know that Mr. Kavanagh indicated that this is just 10 minutes. It's only going to take 10 minutes for students to do this. It doesn't require a lot. But when you look at the overall number of high school students, that is a lot of time when you add up the numbers, especially when we're asking students to take time from their already very busy instructional time to learn things like reading, writing, math, music, all the things. It is not that easy. The bill suggests that using public school tax credit dollars puts these funds, and it is unreliable and it is uneven because we know that schools in much richer resourced areas have the ability and do receive those tax credit dollars. I do appreciate that they're including a $500,000 appropriation, but we also know that we're looking at a massive budget deficit this year, and something like an AED training program is really not a need, but a want. And so when we are having to balance the needs and our wants, obviously our wants get disregarded.
20 seconds.
All right, that's it, I guess. Thank you. If you have any questions.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Boy, I'm in my 20th year and I thought I heard everything, but the teachers group opposing this bill has totally broadsided me. You know, this bill will cost schools nothing. They don't have to buy AEDs. This instruction is already incorporated, by the way, into the Red Cross's CPR instruction program. So I'm not 100% sure why they need $500,000 for something which they're already doing. Their instructors are already doing. So I don't know where that's coming from. But this is incorporated into existing programs that are required by law to be taught in school. I'm not mandating CPR training. That's already the law. We're simply throwing like 10 minutes of instruction to familiarize students so they can save people's lives. No money cost, no nothing. It's unbelievable. And by the way, who do you think is going to drop dead in a school? The odds of a student dropping dead are extremely slim. You occasionally hear about some athlete during a strenuous workout who had a heart condition, but the people who are dropping dead in schools of heart attacks are staff, and most of the staff are teachers. So I don't even know why the teachers wouldn't want to have students around to save their lives. It's ridiculous. Makes no sense at all to me. So anyway, enable students to save lives at no expense. This is pretty simple.
Thank you so much, Senator Kavanagh. Any questions for Senator Kavanagh? Okay.
Move to bill.
Yes, please.
I move SB 1009 with a due pass recommendation.
You heard that. There are no amendments. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, will the secretary please call the roll?
Senator Bravo,
Pass.
Senator Diaz,
Madam Chair, may I explain my vote?
Sure.
Thank you, Chair. I have concerns that this would take away from core instructional time. I also have concerns about this being an additional instructional requirement outside of the standard process. Another concern that I have is that this is an unfunded mandate. So with that, I vote no.
Senator Dunn,
Madam Chair.
Yes,
Wanna
Senator Dunn.
Simple research that I looked up says AED training is highly recommended to complement CPR training because the two are distinct but equally crucial skills for sudden cardiac arrest. CPR keeps oxygen flowing to the vital organs while AED can restart the heart, with both used together significantly boosting survival rates, and many courses combine them for comprehensive preparedness. I think it's pretty simple. You do the two together so that you know when and where to use it, because some of the AEDs are there, and if you haven't at least had someone read you the course and told you push this button and walk through the voice prompts, I think it makes you more comfortable to be able to save somebody's life, and it could be mine when I'm sitting there at the school. So with that, I vote aye.
Senator Mesmer,
Aye.
Senator Miranda,
Madam Chair, I'd like to explain my vote. Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm not convinced that it's a zero cost, so I've already asked for a fiscal note. I am concerned about the cost because staff will have to do the training, and I hope it's more than 10 minutes, because if we're saving someone's life, I would love to have our students to be trained more than 10 minutes, and I just kind of see there's going to be a cost there. But I am going to reserve my right to vote differently on the floor. I will vote yes now, pending the fiscal note and just more answers. So yes for now.
Senator Bravo,
No.
Senator Werner,
Yes.
Senator Engel.
To me, this is just a no-brainer. I vote aye.
5 ayes, 2 nays, 0 not voting.
By your vote of 5 ayes, 2 noes, and 0 not voting, you have given SB 1009 a due pass recommendation.
Well, there you have it. Depressing as it is, that unfortunately is the world that I sometimes live in, a world where labor unions can sometimes sway votes of Democrats against doing good things. And by the way, if you're interested in the strange and normal doings of state legislatures, I would advise you, if you would like, to purchase a book which I recently wrote, State Legislatures and Owners Manual. And this book is available on Amazon.com, and it explains many things about the legislature, including the process, both formal and informal. And I guess you just saw a dark side of the informal process. So thanks for watching.